Howdy, hackers, and just like that, we're back. Apologies for the slight delay, but we're here. I'm going to go ahead and really quickly, at the end of last stream, we talked a little bit about doing some testing for accessibility. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to y'all super quick. The kind of contrast guides. We're also going to turn my favorite music back on because I love this one. And then we're going to get the two codes that we have for the app. So the first one is red 50, which in our app is FFF to F2. And then we are going to get our red 900, which is hex code 471515. So the contrast ratio for this looks pretty good, right? It's seeing shades, right? Seeing partial color blindness, blues and greens, yellows and reds, no green, right? No red and green, no red, right? Even my no red people still see just brown. Reduced sensitivity of red, no red and green, right? All three primary colors. And then low vision, right, is still pretty good. Slight vision loss, still pretty good. Cataracts are good. Direct sunlight looks good. Night shift mode looks good. And our text is also 200 pixels in bold. So this is pretty much 3 stars, straight A's all around for color contrast, which is exactly what we want to see. So perfect there. What we're going to go ahead and do now, I think, is try and add in some buttons. So we would like for the timer to start only if the timer is on. So I think what I would like to do is create a state variable. Let's also share my screen. Why don't we do that? Hello, hello. I also share my screen here. Perfect. And then we do @state var timer on, can be set to true. And then what I'll do is if timer on, time remaining will minus equal 1. So false here. So now what we are going to do is create on the top of this, right, a vertical stack. And in this vertical stack, I would like to create a button that will look like the button that we have on that page there. So it looks like it's pill-shaped. Background is like FF4C4C over with 100% opacity. We're going to go ahead and, or 15% opacity, we're going to go ahead and try to pill-shaped buttons in Swift UI. So we'll create a button. Its text is going to be focused, and then it will have an action. This button will also have padding. It will also have a background where the color is red, green, opacity. So our opacity is 0.15. And then our actual color of the little pill for the fill is FF4C4C. Pretty sure is 255, 76, 76. This is gonna be perfect. Oh, and then the dot clip shape is going to become capsule. Perfect. Sweet. So that'll be our button approximately. And then I would also like to add in the add images from oh, SF symbols, that's what I'm looking for. The foreground style will look like that. Perfect. Hi, hi. Hello again, everybody. And then the background color will be 255 divided by 255, as we know, and then 76 divided by 255, and then finally also 76 divided by 255. So that's what the button looks like. I would like for the text to have text less padding Swift UI for button. So I'm starting to honestly think that this button, yeah, focus, system image brain looks great. Padding, yes. Background. And the clip shape. And then Okay, so to add an overlay, hello, hello. Looking for padding. So it'll be about 3. Let's do like 5. And then a top. Hello, hello. Thank y'all for coming. We've got dot bottom. Could be like there we go. I'm starting to remember things. Leading and dot trailing. We'll make it about 5. No more. 10. About 15. And then increase this one to 5. Okay, perfect. So we have the focus button here. And when the focus button is pressed, timer on toggles. So what that means, when the button is pressed initially, timer should go down. Then if we press the timer again, timer should go back up. Sweet, so that looks good. Then what I would like to do next is go ahead and add in some more buttons. In this case, this will be our pause button, our skip button, and our settings button. So for these, we will need an H stack. And then we'll actually probably need something similar to these, but it's going to be way less intense. Add in 3 of these. Just to start. Focus, focus, and focus. Just like so. Perfect. Okay, first thing we're doing is we're removing this padding. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm keeping clip shape capsule, the foreground and the background colors, not the overlay. And then the system image instead will be, how do I get the SF symbols library? Let me figure that out. SF symbols library. So, those of you who are not familiar with what the SF symbols library is, it is the list of all of the symbols that you can use on whenever you're developing iOS apps. So you've got new and enhanced animation and almost 800 new symbols. And then you also have all of the symbols that you look at, right, to download and also learn a little bit more about. So these are very cool. And so it's a whole app that you download where you can see all the symbols. You can also access it from Xcode, which is super fun, but I forgot the shortcut. Let me see if I can figure it out. Find SF symbols in Xcode. Oh, it's the plus button right there. Cool, got it. Well, if anyone's curious, I'll go ahead and share it with y'all real quick. But it is just the plus button straight on Xcode. For some reason, it won't let me share, which is fine. Anyway, I digress. So press this plus button up here to get the whole SF symbols library open, and I need 3 dots. Or maybe a pause. Yep, we'll definitely be using pause.fill for the second one. So no text, just system image pause.fill. Which have apparently swapped the order. That's fine. Also now realizing that I think the modifier for the text to make the the line height multiplier is affecting the entire screen. Let's see, line height multiple Oh, there's a dot line spacing I can use instead. 0. Wait, what happened to my... Oh, was it saying that the numbers are now too big? If I could see that. Let's see. It's probably what it is. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. But it didn't even fix the issue with those buttons, so I'm leaving it. Or can I add a dot line spacing? 0. We'll try that. And then do in here 200. You know, that doesn't accomplish what I wanted to. So we're leaving it as 0.78 and then doing this. I think the padding on these buttons is making it not behave as I want it to. You have the focus button, right? Which without it looks like this. Pushes against it with the padding. I think it's adding too much padding onto the... So I think I want to use instead the button that types as like action and label is, there we go, yeah. So timer on dot toggle, and the label is then, well, kind of forgot what it was. So let's put this back in super quickly. And then let's do button Yeah, like that. Action will be label. Timer on dot toggle. And then the label will be text. It says focus. With the system image. Right. Except that's not how you add. So how do you add system images to text? Add SF symbols to text instead of button then. Add an H stack in here instead. That then has the text of image being system name brain. Perfect. That looks better. Okay. Instead, what I would like to do is then comment out these. Not delete. Comment them out. And try to move these around in a way that makes a little bit more sense. So the first one that I definitely want to keep is dot foreground style, right? Color red, right? For that specific color. And then for the background as well, that goes over the whole button. That'll be for this. And then the clip shape as well. And then the overlay. Can be specific strokes, lines 40 through 46, perfect. So these are then going to, of course, be uncommented and then control, I think it's control I, yeah, perfect. Fix the indentation for me. So moved all of these. So now I think what I would like to do is add in some padding just onto the butt, like just onto this. So be dot padding, and it's dot top, dot bottom becomes about 2 pixels. Oh, but that does add some form of padding. So what if I just pad the text itself? Still adds padding, huh? So interesting. And all of these are in their own VStack, so it's not like what if I added a spacer to the start? Of the VStack. and then I added in padding. So something about adding any form of bottom padding pushes this thing up. But it looks weird without any padding, so I think I'm gonna deal with it for now, and then we're gonna do leading and trailing. We'll be closer to 15 to make the button look, or maybe closer to 10. Try 10. That looks better, yeah. Then we've got, maybe if I did dot padding, dot bottom, it's like -30. Oh, I did the wrong type of brace. It's dot bottom and then -30. Okay, that's better, that's better. So we go ahead and decrease the bottom padding by 30, makes the button look good here. And then we've got the H stacks of these buttons, which I'm gonna be replacing anyway. So let's go ahead and remove this for now. We've got a nice little H stack in which we are going to put some buttons. Sweet. So it's going to be 3 different buttons. So button, or action, and label. We're going to have 3 of these. 1, 2, and 3. And for those, the text will be image system name, or the text will be simply ... First one. For the second one, the text will in fact be an image system name. This is the last string for today. Not until today in Global Hack Week, I'm pretty sure. So this will be image. However, I'll be back with this series on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. Pause.fill. And then for this one, I would like it to say timer on dot toggle. You know what, for now I'm gonna just make all of them do something. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this one done. This one, it will be the text, and then the image name will not be pause.fill, will actually be forward fill. Perfect. Oh, perfect. So what I just did with the, what's this called? Not tuple. I forgot what that's called. I literally forgot what that's called. It's fine. Pause.fill, play.fill, and then these are the 3 So is there really no like three dots SF symbols? Let's see. More hooligans, right? Ellipses, perfect. Okay, perfect. So these are the buttons. Well, the next thing I also want to do is at the end of this H stack, we are adding in another spacer. Sweet, right? Make it look more like the initial visual. Now that I'm looking at the button, like 8 and 15. No. I think that actually looks pretty good. Sweet. So now we've got the buttons in here. And then what I want to do is go ahead and add in the background. And then also I made it so that the button's functional, which is super cool. Same with the focus button, actually. I might actually make this focus button set the time remaining also to 2500 or to 1500, and then timer on to true. So what we're now doing is this focus button is going to start everything. If you press it again, then it resets the timer and starts it. If you press pause, right, and it goes ahead and pauses it. And then if you press focus again, it restarts it. If you press the pause and play, that's what those do. And then fast forward, we'll worry about in a second. But for now, we have the ellipses. And then I want to go ahead and do the styling for a little bit. That part is the fun part. So, at least for me. Okay, the red alpha 700. So either way, the foreground style for all of these texts needs to be the same. All right, so first off, these button areas, do that. So foreground style is that, perfect. And then we also need the actual button background. So funnily enough, the background is the same for these two. And now for that one specifically, for the other two buttons. We also need to change the size of these. So this will be dot variable font, and the size I will make let's try out 45. Maybe. What size is the template? Oh, these are vectors. So they're not exactly sized. Okay, so we'll try this. We'll try at 45 for now and see how it looks. So font. And then also font. Now that I'm looking at it, the fast forward is definitely smaller than the pause. So 35, 35, and 50. 60. Try 50. Might be a little closer to reality. Cool. And I'm thinking with the buttons and the like additional things that they're going to get, this will be a little bit more accurate. So now for the background of these, the background color is that, but also we need a clip shape or rounded corners, I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. Rounded corners and buttons, Swift UI. Perfect. Hello. Now for this one, the important part is that the padding is about 15 instead of 10. And then the padding on the leading and trailing is about another 10. 15, 20. And I do think it's still 10. Yeah. Perfect. And then the color of it, instead of the is actually going to be the Red Alpha 700, which is FF4C4C, or 2557676. So it's actually the opacity 71. It's really 0.71, sorry. That's better, perfect. Then the next one actually just follows the same properties of this button in here. So these are way too big right now for the amount of space that they take up. And then also for the entire H stack, I need a padding top be about -30 as well. The entire H stack. There you go, that looks pretty good. Except the font size actually needs to be smaller. And then the padding around the buttons needs to be bigger. I'm realizing, so it's closer to 20 for all of them. Yeah, 20, 20, 20. But instead of the padding being 10 or so, it's actually closer to 15. And then this one, it is 15, 20. Maybe I can say 22. And then an extra 10. 15 on either side. And then for this one, it is still staying. I'm gonna actually up the font a bit. 25, 25, 25, 25. Then the padding being 15 on these. Actually, I think 16 looks a bit, maybe even 18. Let's try 18, 18, 25. Yeah, this looks good. So now we have fully functional buttons. So the settings button would open up a settings menu. So let's go ahead and add in a comment in here. So this is going to be to do, open up a settings menu. Then for this one, we do to do, skip to the break. Hmm. And then I'm thinking also we would have in like some user preferences, right? So to do override length with user preferences. Cool. Got all of these. This looks good. This looks pretty good actually. I'm very happy with how it looks. It looks very pretty. So now what I would like to do is add in our our short break view. So this is gonna be our like main screen, right? Our content view. So I wonder if it would not be better to, instead of transitioning onto like override color schemes so that so you can make almost like an enum of different color schemes. A little bit like you do here, right? You have potentially like create a new file, call it color schemes, and then in here do some form of enum. So it'd be like a public enum color schemes, right? Which you would define. But that's for later as well. So we'll do a to do here. Add in dynamic color schemes. Because what I'm thinking is that we will do like a state var type, which for now will be either true or false. So right now, we'll set it as on break, will be false. And then we could almost create like a color, like where instead of in here, right, we would define like almost a function. Instead of saying color red, green, blue, right? Ignoring safe area. Well, let's try that, right? So what you would do is you would almost have you would vary what color was showing based on the information on the user screen. What if I comment this out entirely, right? So now we have a fully white background. So I'm trying to think of trying to think how to get it to show the color that I want, which is possible. I was looking at something just 2 seconds ago to do it. So I think what I could do is set like an extension of color that I would have to let static let like create all of the different colors. So the first thing that I'm going to do is create the primary. So I'd say the focus text color, which is going to be this color. And then static let focus background be this color. And now I think also I can change it to be color.focus background. And then I can know the safe area there. Perfect, which I should have done anyway. And then this is the dot foreground style is going to be dot color dot focus text. What I should be doing anyway, which is awesome. So color dot focus text. Perfect. And then I want to say static let main background or primary background. Focus button background. primary button background will be the color red, blue, green. And then the opacity is 0.15. And then the, let's focus secondary will actually be the same thing with the opacity 0.71. Perfect. And now I think what I can do is replace all of these. I'll say color dot focus primary button background. It's 255.76. 76. Then 255.76. 76 as well. So they are different colors. So that's good. Color dot. Perfect. Color dot focus primary button background looks good. This one, we color dot focus secondary button background, and there we go. Added this in. Looks much better. And then add in tertiary values. Perfect. That's what we're gonna do. So oh wait, no, but that won't work for when you have long break. So but do we even want to add in long breaks for now? I don't think we'll have that much time. So let's focus on adding in short break versus long break. So on break is false. Instead, I'm going to change it to be Pomodoro session or working session. So we'll default to true. And then we will say working session implies color focus background ignore safe area. Otherwise, it'll be color dot focus secondary button background. Sure. Both of these will ignore safe area. And what I'm going to do instead is add in break text, break background, break primary button background, and break secondary button background. Perfect. And these will follow the green conventions instead. So we have green 50 for the background, which is 242, 255, 245. So 242, 255, 245. So now what I can do is do break background instead. And then if I change working session to false, should change the background to green, hypothetically. Perfect, looks good, sweet. So we'll go ahead and mess around with these. Time remaining. Will either be, if it's working session, it'll be equal to 1500. Otherwise, it'll be equal to, what's 5 minutes? 560, 300. Perfect. Go ahead and grab a coffee. Yeah, cup and saucer fill, or just cup and saucer. Cup and saucer. Okay, time to figure out what break text's actual color is. So it is 77, 218, 110. I know that's for the, yeah, this is 20, 64, 29. So 20, 64, 29. How do I make... So the button background in this case is 77, 218, 110. Also actually a 15% opacity. So I have no reason to believe why this one, 77, 218, 110, won't be at that except 71% opacity. Oh, it's actually lower than that on the opacity. Look at the color, please. 62% for that one. 62%. All right, so let's see. Perfect. Looking cute, except for this button, both of these need to say second. Perfect. Let's see. Now, looks cute. Sweet. I'm going to create a time and focus variable, which is equal to 0. And then I want time and focus to trigger if you have been working for more than a set amount of time. So now when you skip in between the two screens, the timer doesn't turn on by default, even if you started this previous one, which I think is the right move. Although I think maybe your break timer should start by default, but or maybe is it good that? Nah, you should have control over when it starts, I think. But these are cute. I'm happy with it. It looks nice. Focus and the short. Perfect, because this looks really nice. Let's go ahead and push up our changes. So, download, CD, to my documents, not my downloads. Git commit -m part 3 progress. Perfect. So we went ahead and pushed up what we had done so far. Great. Nope, let's not do that. Sweet. All right, and then we've got the app looking nice and looking good. I'm trying to think if I want to, because I don't like how the like, I think it makes more sense to change the colors than to dynamically generate the screens every time. However, I kind of want to rethink how to organize this. Interesting. I'm trying to think. Maybe you create okay, perfect. So we've pushed our changes up. Now we have the I could create structures instead for focus. Let's go ahead and add in the blue text actually as well. I need those super quickly. Which I have them. It is 21, 48, 71 for the text. And then for the initial background, is 242, 249, 255. Then for the initial blue is 76, 172, 255. 15%, and then the next one is also 76, 172, 5, but it's 62%. Cool. So the changes for that. So now it's going to break a bunch of stuff in here. I'm thinking I'm going to just focus on the color, focus background, ignore city. Well, hello. So color.focus.text. This one will be focus.back, primary background, or primary button. Maybe color.focus.text will be color.focus.text. And this one will be Mhm. Mhm. Okay, cool. So let's see. Or let's call this mode instead of colors. Mode. All right, friends. We're almost at the end. It is open source. It's available on GitHub if you wanna play around with it. There we go. That's better. Sweet. Okay, I think everything looks good now except for this Subi primary button. Now I think we are looking good. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and commit these changes, stage them all. Part 3 again. Commit and push. And then it is 6:58, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably slowly wrap up this stream here. But generally, thank you all very, very much for joining me for Global Hack Week. I will see you all on Tuesday with the last part of this. I think it'll be really fun. I'm gonna mess around more with the settings and a little bit of that stuff. So yeah, this is the kind of end of the stream. But thank you all very much for coming. I'll be to hang out with you, and I will see you all on Tuesday very, very soon. And the next one. I love how I had on for the entire 2 hours that we were going to be getting started soon. And I just noticed. That's so fun. Well, it happens. Either way, thank you all for joining me. It was awesome to hang out, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.